The Other Westmore. The Other Westmore is the story of two young men who grew up in Baltimore, Maryland with identical names. The first of which I will refer to as Wes A. Wes A earned the distinction of being selected as a Rhodes Scholar and attended Oxford University on a full scholarship. He returned to the United States and earned a master's degree in international relations, while simultaneously working on Wall Street in the area of finance. Later on, through much consultation and prayer, Wes A decided to take leave of absence and join the fight overseas in Afghanistan and serve as a member of the 82nd Airborne. Upon his second return to the United States, he was accepted in the White House Fellow Program and spent a year as special assistant to then Secretary of State, Dr. Condoleezza Rice. Wes B, on the other hand, was charged with murder. He suffered a totally different fate. The crime took place during a jewelry store robbery, and he is currently serving a life sentence in prison. Strangely enough, these two individuals share two things in common. Number one, they were both in trouble with the law at a very young age. And secondly, they both grew up in homes without their fathers. I know that shortly after this matriculation ceremony, you'll be having a conversation with some of our faculty members regarding this book. Therefore, at this time, I have no desire to steal their thunder, just maybe a little bit. What I would like to say to you as freshmen is this. In some ways, it is all about you. And in other ways, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. The theme for this school year is for you to expand your expectations. All of you will have uniquely different ways of accomplishing this, and by no means can any of those ways be considered to be cookie cutter. So, at this time, I would like to offer you 7 simple suggestions that you can use to facilitate this transaction. And so, the countdown begins. Suggestion number 7 comes from the book, The Other Westmore. Wes A took time from his busy schedule to visit Wes B in prison to get to know him, to establish a connection, to find out how two people who had similar origins could arrive at such polar destinations. Why? The answer is rather simple. He was seeking answers versus succumbing to stereotypes. As freshmen, you should try to display a willingness to make connections outside of yourselves. Take the opportunity in this very safe environment to connect with individuals with whom you have absolutely nothing in common. For some of you, it could very well be a life-altering experience. Suggestion number 6 also comes from the book and is a subject which is very near and dear to my heart. It has to do with parenthood. Both Wes A and B grew up without fathers in their homes. Poor parenting is a situation which plagues this country. A solid education is a strong pathway to create strong families. Therefore, I would suggest that you take your education very, very seriously and try to refrain from doing anything that would bring shame to your present and future families. One last thing for my men. I want you to try to do your very, very best to place yourselves in a position to become a man of the house, not a man in the house. Suggestion number 5. As President Romsberg has stated several times, the road to immortality lies within the art of community service. Invest yourselves in this community. Find ways to give of yourselves and your time and ask for absolutely nothing in return. I'm going to let you in on a little secret right now. Some of the greatest people in communities all across this country are deeply embedded in community service, and they are giants. They may not tell you who they are, but I guarantee you they're going to be watching you. They are very seasoned and very well-connected individuals. Community service is not only a great way to network, but it's also a great way to build your resume. Remember, the JU brand thrives when you give of yourself. Now, suggestions number 4 and number 3 are more of a rant than they are suggestions. And I think that each and every one of you should listen to these rants very carefully. Number 4, control the technology. Do not let the technology control you. Do not answer your cell phones in class. Do not send text messages in class. As a matter of fact, I would suggest you turn your cell phones off altogether. Do not log into Facebook during class. Tell whomever it is that you're talking to that you will speak to them when your classes are finished. If that person really cares about you, they would want you to focus during that time anyway. If you decide to engage in these activities, I want you to consider 2 things. It is going to be very, very difficult for you to obtain additional points if you are a borderline student. It is going to be difficult for you to obtain a letter of recommendation from a professor. It's going to be difficult for you to obtain a reference letter from your professor. Remember, this is a small school. Your professors can see you. They know when you're engaged. They know when you're being naughty. They know when you're being nice. You have the opportunity to get to know them on a personal level. Engaging in these behaviors also says 2 very daunting things about you. A, it says that I don't care about myself. And B, it says that I am uninterested in what my professor is saying to me at this time. Number 3 is also a rant. And it goes as follows. Ask for help early and often. It is a professor's job to teach. That's what you paid for when you selected a small private university. Make us do our jobs. Utilize our tutoring facilities. Do not wait until the week of finals to come see us. Many professors are twiddling their thumbs during office hours all semester. Then, during finals week, the line to our offices looks like someone is giving away Justin Bieber backstage passes at a middle school. Number 2, your peers can see you as well. This is an opportunity to reinvent yourselves. The way you carry yourselves leaves a strong impression on your peers. You could be sitting next to a future CEO and could benefit from having created a very positive image. Once again, this school is very small with small class sizes. And number 1, it is not all about you. I want you to think for just a moment what your lives will be like in the future. Perhaps you may find yourselves in this distinct position that your parents are in at this very moment. Praying, wishing, hoping that your son or daughter will make it through this portion of their journey. Some of you may have parents who have taken out signature loans in their names in order for you to be here. Some have taken out second mortgages on their homes in order for you to be here. And like myself, some of you are standing on the prayers of your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Do not disappoint them. If this is not enough to inspire you, then think of this. Do not place yourselves in the position to have your children look into your eyes one day, ask for the desires of their hearts, and respond with the following. I cannot afford this because I did not prepare myself adequately. Do not take this responsibility lightly. In closing, I'd like to share with you my favorite poem. It is my source of strength and inspiration. and I say it at least twice daily. The poem is entitled If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your lives to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again from your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Thank you for your time. God bless you.